Hello everybody. Hello everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. Over the last week, we've seen all of the markets start to take off in a big way. After such a prolonged sell-off, it's good to see some relief stepping in, led by the SPX, which is ultimately dragging Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptos with it. We're going to be diving into some of my favorite charts, analyzing what I believe is going to be taking place to finish out the rest of this year, what the stock market is going to be playing out, and how Bitcoin is going to be correlated to it, and then ultimately finishing up by talking about the long-term picture of Bitcoin and where I see things headed over the next year. If you're new and just find this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server of over 20,000 members and growing. Links are in the description to go ahead and sign up. You guys can also go ahead and download my free ebook and Beginner's Guide to Crypto. Links are in the description for both. Thank you guys for tuning in. And with that being said, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so here we are taking a look at Bitcoin on the daily. As you guys can see, we've had another sustained impulse after our most recent sell-off. Now if you guys remember in my last video what I was talking to you guys about, when we were going into that weekend, and the market was all the way up here, I said that this would be the sell-off that you want to buy into because most likely the market was going to be pumping after that point. And so it's really encouraging to see that we pretty much bounced right off our midway point target, and now we're already back to basically the range highs of that move. And so this is exactly what we wanted to see, after such an extended period of time that we've basically just been going down. If we look at this, this has been a 74% drawdown from the all-time highs at 69,000. And so to see that the market's finally starting to get a little bit of momentum is an encouraging sign. We're nowhere near out of the clear yet. We definitely need to make a larger move to the upside. But with that being said, guys, I do believe that this next few months for crypto will be a nice profitable time for people that are looking for swing trading opportunities, for people that are looking to capitalize on some of this volatility after such a large swing to the downside. Now, I think a lot of people are shaken out. Most people aren't even willing to buy or touch crypto. And so because of that, there's a lot of money left on the sidelines from people that really are just kind of pulling out, selling, getting out of the market after getting in from the tops up here. And so whenever this happens, whenever you have an extended sell-off, there's always big players that enter the market. There's always the smart money that comes in and they buy the dips. And usually after that first major move, it's usually the first major move after a large extended correction, oftentimes we can see a large breakout from that point. And so when I'm watching this chart, let's come over here and draw a line. What I'm looking for right off the bat is going to be this red line at about 30,000. Ultimately, I do believe that we're going to at least go back up to this level here. And it's even possible, depending on how large the move is in the stock market, that's what's going to ultimately impact the price of crypto. And I think that we're going to at least retest our previous support. This was our long-term support throughout this entire consolidation. And so this was really our capitulation when we finally broke below that point. And the way that I'm looking at this $30,000 level, I'm looking at it very similarly to basically this 6K support. If we come back here in the last bear market, Bitcoin sat on this $6,000 support for basically a year. It was like 8 months that we were here. And then we finally crashed below that, right? And then when the market came back, that was pretty much our first major move that we went to at our breakout point. Now, obviously, Bitcoin rallied all the way up to 14K in that bear market. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen inside of this consolidation, which is why I want to remind you guys of that 6K consolidation, because that was the first time in which Bitcoin had ever seen such a large breakout after a bear market, right? We only went through 3 months of a sideways accumulation before having such a large move to the upside. If we compare what happened in 2015, we went 280 days pretty much just going sideways before getting a small breakout to the upside, right? And if we come back to even the first cycle here, after our first bear market, we just get these little higher highs. It's nothing too crazy, right? So inside of our 2018 bear market, the breakout to the upside was very impulsive and it was very fast. It caught most people off guard. And so I want to remind you guys that expect the unexpected. After we've had such an extended correction inside of the market, now that we're at this point where it looks to be, the capitulation low was in, even if we come back down and retest this low, it's very possible we could do something like that and make a double bottom. It doesn't change the fact that most likely our low is going to be in for this cycle. And what's going to happen now is our first breakout from that major capitulation. Now, the thing I find interesting with this cycle is the fact that it is vastly different than what we would consider any of the prior bear markets. This consolidation is vastly different. And because it's also happening in a different wave structure, this was wave 1, this is wave 3, wave 4, we're missing our wave 5 here. And that's why I believe that this entire bearish consolidation is vastly different than any of our bear markets in years past. Yes, the percent return to the downside is similar. This is about 10% less of a correction than this bear market was, and as well as this bear market. But nonetheless, both of these were coming after a major blow off top. This one was coming after it was a big move in wave 3, but this was more of a 4-wave correction. I'm not counting this move to 69,000 as a wave 5 impulse because this entire move looks corrective to me. And so now that we're coming all the way back down, now that we've got our pi cycle low that's flashed in here, and most importantly, we're sitting and retested our weekly 200 moving average. Now that we have all of these kind of playing in with one factor, I want you guys to remember that with us retesting this trend line, every time we've ever hit this trend line, it's produced a bounce to the upside. Even if, we've sat here, pretend that the line goes here, even if we've sat here and kind of ranged off of it for a little while, every single time we hit this, it's marked a significant low point of the bear market and has produced a move to the upside. Low of the bear market, move to the upside. This was a retest inside of a bull trend, but it would have been an amazing opportunity to get back in. This was the COVID bottom that we saw here. And so with us finally coming back down and retesting it, even with us kind of being below it for a little while, it really doesn't matter. This is more of a range. We wicked below it here, we wicked below it here, we wicked below it here. It's nothing that different to what we haven't seen in years past. And so now that we're at this point, I honestly think that we could see a pretty big move to basically wrap up this sell-off. And it's going to be interesting to see because with us getting ready for this wave 5, I think the market structure can definitely get very much more parabolic than people realize. This is a bigger cycle playing out. And I believe that this next move that's coming will be very profitable for the crypto markets. There's a number of cryptos we can look at that are ultimately pointing to the same conclusion. And I think that the biggest thing that we can look at is going to be what the SPX does. Now, this red resistance up here at about 41.68 approximately, this is going to be our line in the sand, so to speak. I honestly think that the price is most likely going to come back up to retest this level. And from here, whether we get a confirmed breakout or whether we have to stay below it and kind of consolidate sideways for maybe another month or two, we're going to watch and see. But either or is going to ultimately tell the story of what Bitcoin is going to do. Keep in mind, when we were looking at this chart and we had our resistances down here, most likely Bitcoin's going to come up and tag 30K. 30K for Bitcoin is going to be the same as about 4,200 for the SPX approximately. And so if Bitcoin in the SPX, or I should say if the SPX comes and tags this red level and then we pull back, Bitcoin's probably going to pull back at 30K. And we'll probably have to come back down here and retest this 200 week, go sideways until the end of the year. And then that's most likely how we'll start our new bull trend. That would be a great thing, honestly. Bitcoin running to 30K, pulling back to the 200 week. It would just give everybody a more lengthy period of time to accumulate at a relatively low point in the cycle. But with that being said, guys, we are inside of a wave 4 getting ready for a wave 5. So this could actually break out higher than people are expecting. What happens if Bitcoin decides to run upwards of $40,000? If Bitcoin decides to run up to $40,000, it's most likely just because of the one reason that the SPX decided to break out much higher. Instead of pulling back at this resistance, or maybe we pull back for a little bit but then get another move and we can actually get above this red level. If we can get above this red level, then that is what ultimately gives a lot of confidence back into Bitcoin, back into the stock market, back with all of the markets as a whole. Not just stocks, not just commodities, not just Bitcoin. Basically, all of them would find a lot of strength for the most part. And so this is kind of the way that I'm looking at the market. This red level, bearish below, bullish above, but for the most part, guys, when we're looking at Bitcoin, I'm not expecting a whole lot. Even if Bitcoin decides to run upwards of 40,000, Bitcoin could run up to 40,000 and we could still get a sharp pullback all the way back down near that 200 week, or even touching the 200 week. It doesn't really matter that much. We have seen how volatile Bitcoin can get in the early stages of breakouts. Every single move to the upside was basically erased to a downside sell-off. This move, basically the exact same thing. We corrected almost the entire thing. It was like 88% of that move. And so I just want you guys to remember to expect the unexpected. It'll be interesting to see how the SPX stacks up throughout the rest of this summer. As we get into the end of the year, the fall, and the winter time frames, I think that that's where we're going to start to see Bitcoin really show a bottom formation and start to break out into that next cycle. So anyways, guys, this is the video I had for you. If you found value in it, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you guys join the Discord server. Sign up for my free ebook. Links are in the description for both of those. If you guys want to also join my VIP group, follow all the trades that I post, all of that fun stuff, links are in the description for that as well to go ahead and sign up on my website. Thank you guys so much for the support of this channel. It really does mean a lot. There's been a lot of haters inside the market, but it's really easy to get caught up with so many negative comments, and it's really easy to focus so much, especially now that I have to go through and manually sort through all of the comments so I can keep out all of the bots and the scammers and things. I have to read every single comment. So being in the bear market, I get an amazing gauge of just what every single person thinks. And there's been a tremendous amount of negative comments, hate comments, basically for the last year and a half at this point. And so when we're seeing this, it's really easy to get discouraged, whether it's you guys jumping in the comment section and just seeing all of the hate comments and feeling like discouraged, feeling like maybe you should get out of the market. At the end of the day, this is no different than when I first got into the market and started my YouTube channel. We can throw that all the way back to 2018, July 3rd, when I launched this channel. And really nobody watched me back then. But then once we started to get into that new cycle, the beginning of 2020 was when my channel really started to blow up. And I never really saw a ton of hate, but during those bearish corrections, anytime the market pulled back, it would be very similar. Although my channel was getting way more views, there was way more engagement in crypto as a whole, so you would see a lot more amplification. When the market was up, everybody loved you. When the market was down, everybody hated you and was at your neck. Now that we're in an extended period of bearish consolidation, now that the market for Bitcoin's been correcting for a year and a half, getting closer and closer to 2 years, with all of this, there's a lot of people that are angry. A lot of people have lost a lot of their money. I've lost a lot of money. Everybody loses money inside of a bear market. It's just the way it goes. But at the end of the day, the market will turn around. It will have another cycle. And everybody that's angry now will be happy, in 6 months to a year, whenever the market starts to flip around. We'll have to just wait and see. So at the end of the day, just keep your head up with all of this stuff. Just remember that the cycles are a long-term game. You're never going to be 100% right all of the time. You're never always going to be wrong either. But the more that you can be more right than you are wrong, and most importantly, the more times that when you are right, you just take that profit and go, and you move on from that investment and focus on something else. Or whether your strategy is something more long-term. Maybe you're more of a long-term investor. Know your strategy and stick to it, because like I said, the cycles are a long-term game. If you look at the charts of Ethereum, you look at the charts of Bitcoin, you look at the charts of certain select altcoins, they've only ever continued to uptrend. And so there's certain picks that you can invest in safely. There's certain things that we can go for, and there are good ways of going about investing in the crypto markets. Ignore all of the FUD, ignore all of the hate comments. That happens every single time there's a major correction inside the market. But just know that we're all going to be here profiting inside the next cycle. We're all going to be here together. And so I wanted to give you guys this little update. Thank you so much for the support. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.